If you like to eat and save money, you're going to want to stick around for this.
Welcome to Money Moves Podcast, the financial podcast without all the fluff. We're Molly and Caroline, two financial marketing coworkers turned besties, and we're here to help you take control of your cash.
We'll break down everything you need to know to make smart money moves and hopefully not bore you to death.
Think of us as your financial hype squad, bringing you real stories and tips to help you start stacking your cash. So let's start making those money moves. We are not financial experts. We are just two regular people. Always do your own research and ask a professional for personalized advice.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Money Moves by KTVAECU, and we're glad you're here.
We are so glad you're here. I'm Caroline.
And I'm Molly.
And today we have a super fun topic. I'm really excited.
Yep.
We are doing a part 2 to our Feasting for Less episode. And the first time we talked about this, we talked about how you can save on your grocery bills and stuff like that. This time, we're going to talk about some tactics you can take to save while eating out.
Yes.
But first, let's listen to see what our ETSU students had to say about this topic.
Roll the tape. So what's the number one thing that you spend money on right now?
Probably snacks, for real. I eat out a lot, so yeah.
I would say probably food or coffee.
Food or gas?
Probably food, honestly.
Shoes and food.
Yep.
100%.
Food, probably.
Probably junk food off the side too.
Food, coffee.
Legos.
Yes.
I know we said this last time we talked about food, but it just always makes me chuckle because it's such a real topic right now about the expense of food and your budget.
It is. It really is. I was about to say, I feel like I hear about this probably, I don't know, like every time I go to the grocery store, every time I go out to eat.
The data's been
probably
collected.
like daily. I would say it's a daily occurrence that you hear about just how expensive it is to eat out right now.
Oh,
honestly.
absolutely. Yeah, eating out.
Yeah.
In our past episode, as you said, we talked about grocery, but this we want to focus in on like fast food, the restaurants, especially if you're in college and you're on the go all the time. Sometimes that's the easiest way to get food.
Yep.
But how do you do it with a hack, with some like tricks and tips, I think's the goal here.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for this episode because we took a couple of different avenues to find some of these tips and tricks, but kind of wanted to lay the groundwork on this episode because there are... I'm going to start with, why is it so expensive to eat out? There are a lot of factors, but I feel like people just say it's expensive without the knowledge and the know-how behind like why it's expensive. So I kind of like when doing my research just wanted to dig into this a little bit. So
tell us why.
I'll tell you all why. But first, like I said, I want to build the context for this. So I pulled a couple of quotes from an Eater article where they interviewed restaurant owners, which I found really intriguing from across the nation. So this is all United States based and this is all just like based off of owners and restaurants and what they are experiencing. I will say some of these were like higher end restaurants, but I almost felt like that gave a better perspective into the state of like dining out than you're not going to get like a Chili's manager quote from these types of articles. So,
no hate, Chili's.
Yeah. And so the article was titled Restaurant Math Isn't Working. And it's just like detailing out the struggles that restaurant owners are having right now. So Garrett Benedict, chef and owner of G Love in Portland, was quoted as saying, "Our prices have risen substantially since 2020. Pre-pandemic, I was proud of the fact that there was no food item on the menu at G Love that cost more than $20.
Okay.
Sidebar. That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
And I would now say 45 to maybe even 50% of our dishes are over $20. Protein prices have gone up exponentially. It's good for us because we're a vegetable-focused restaurant, but there are other costs too. For example, in 2020, nitrile gloves went from costing $70 a case to over $400 a case. Wow. But you can't tell your guests, hey, we have to raise the price of food because rubber gloves are more expensive.
Yeah. Wow.
So, thoughts on quote 1. What do you think?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I think sometimes you don't think about all the other things that go into like food prep and just the food industry in general. And
Yep.
like if one little thing goes up, it can affect the price of the food that the consumer pays.
Yeah. Okay. Which is going to lead me into quote 2. So this is from Gahad Hadidi, owner of Le Bon Soup, which is a New York restaurant. So kind of already pricey, but I'm going to read the quote regardless. One thing we implemented about 2-3 years ago is a 2% kitchen appreciation fee. It's printed on our menus and 100% goes to our kitchen team. In New York, the law is that tips can only go to the front of house staff. As an individual restaurant, there's only so much we can do to really change that model. If there's going to be change to the industry, it probably has to come from government regulations that all of us have to follow at the same time. Otherwise, no one's making heavy margins, because if they do, people will see it as a ripoff and go to the place next door.
Yeah.
So, thoughts on the next quote? What do you think?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I didn't know that about New York, that it had to stay in the front of the house, just because, I mean, I think about those things sometimes when I go to sit down restaurants, like, do they split this tip? Does it go to everyone that's working? Does it just stay with the server? And you don't always know. Yeah. So that's interesting, though, that's like a thing there.
And I think I'm more apt as a consumer to like take on some of those fees when I know where it's going.
Yeah.
But like me just reading a kitchen appreciation fee, I don't think I would understand that like the back staff isn't getting that tip. And I know that like splitting and tipping is weird, and tipping culture is just like a conversation in general. But all that being said, I think a lot of the food prices when we go out, there's so much that we just don't see. And like this person was quoted as saying, like those margins on turnaround for restaurants are really not that great. Like you can watch any like Gordon Ramsay. I was just watching Bar Rescue last night, and those margins are slim.
It is wild.
So I know that like on this, we're going to focus on fast food, but I just thought that was so interesting when I was digging into the topic of like sit down restaurants and like where is this type of stuff going
and why
and why. And it's honestly, a lot of it is that profit margin and, you know, and making that clearance to have a good margin to keep your restaurant open.
Yeah.
So that's more of sit downs though. I know fast food, I'll talk about the margins a little bit differently, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, let's cut our local restaurants a little bit of a break on their pricing.
Yeah. We're going to give you guys tips, but it is good to appreciate what they do in the restaurant business, because it's hard work.
Yeah, it's super hard work. And speaking of hard work, Molly and I want to preface this episode by saying we are only 2 people and we could only test so many food things to prep for this episode to give savings. So something really exciting that we did was Molly opened up this survey to our credit union to get tips from across the credit union on these savings tips we're going to share with you all.
So they're not just our tips.
No, there are
many people that is very certified in the food.
Yes,
eating.
Certified by the staff of eating
tips. So we're excited to share those for you.
Yeah. So everyone has different tips and tricks, but these are kind of like what I could lump into like the main categories. So overall, I was able to compile, and now that I'm reading my tips, I realize I numbered them wrong. So I think it's 6.
Okay. 6.
I think it's 6. We're going to go with 6.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just kidding. It's 7. So yes. So I lumped these into the 7 tip groupings that I could based off of what everyone was telling us and then based off of what we were discussing. So hopefully these help. So tip number 1 to save some money when you are ordering out is to evaluate the menu.
Evaluate the menu.
Now, I bet you're sitting there thinking, Caroline, what does that mean? What does it mean to evaluate a menu? What does that mean? And what I mean by that is some places are more cost effective if you order in a combo. Taco Bell, I'm looking dead at you. Yeah. So some places are more cost effective if you pick a la carte items, which I think you tested a couple of theories for this.
Yes.
And then some restaurants have different appetizers that could work as a full meal that are like a little bit beefier. So what I mean by that is just prep a little bit. Do a little bit of prep work before you go out to eat or before you just swing through the drive-through line. If you're really looking to save, just evaluating the menu for a second and being confident when you go in to order will save you some money.
I have 2 points to make on this one.
Okay, yay.
So for evaluating the menu, one thing that I like to, I'm going to say evaluate the menu / evaluate the food.
Yes.
Because sometimes, I don't know if you've seen this going around TikTok or in your Instagram reels, where people will buy like the 2 size of fries.
Yes.
And pour them, and they're like the same amount.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You're paying for a large versus a medium. So that's what I mean, like evaluate the food that even you're getting, because you could get a small and it might be the same quantity that you pay for a large, but you're paying
I've
for
seen
a
people
small.
do that, I feel like with drinks, where they're pouring the drinks into the same size cup holders across different
it's the same
sizes, which is
thing.
crazy to me.
So one thing that evaluate the menu, you can always check out like the dollar menu. I think Taco Bell also has a good like combo menu and dollar menu. I think they call it value menu now.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can get some really good things there. But one thing that you can do at maybe a restaurant that's near you is Wendy's. Ooh. So Wendy's has the Dave Single, which is a single patty with your condiments. So you have like lettuce, tomato, onion, whatever.
Yeah.
And I looked up the price of it, and it is around $5.79, just depending on which one you go to.
Okay.
You can order a double stack, which is just 2 patties with cheese, but then add in your lettuce, tomato, and all that. And it's only $3.29.
Ooh.
So you could get more protein for the same thing as this single.
Okay.
But it's cheaper. And you just add the things you need. It's the same burger. Really.
That's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
That's crazy.
And Wendy's is just one place that has things like that. There are other restaurants and fast food places where if you just evaluate the menu.
Yeah. Just evaluate.
Make it work for you.
Yeah. Make it work for you. Do you have any more tips on that one?
Well, another thing that you can do, because I don't know about you, me and my husband right now, we're on this protein kick, trying to get our protein in. Like, there's like girl math. You said restaurant math. We're doing all things in protein math right now. And so one thing that I saw when I was doing research, the people saying like, if you want to try to get more protein intake, is add bacon to everything.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Like even at Chick-fil-A, you can add bacon and stuff. And sometimes they don't upcharge you for those things. You just evaluate the menu.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mainly because I guess I assume adding bacon adds cost automatically.
It just
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Okay. My second tip, we're moving on to tip number 2, is very similar to tip number 1, but it involves a little bit more planning.
Okay.
So this one is called more planning.
That's
because
great.
proper planning prevents poor performance.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is on step 1, you're evaluating deals, you're doing kind of that math, you're thinking proactively, but it doesn't require advanced planning.
Yeah.
The second tip is looking at weekly specials.
Yes.
Are they running deals at certain times, which I consider that to almost be like a little bit more advanced planning.
Yes.
So that's why I'm like, if you have a sit-down restaurant that you love, for example, I'm just going to name this one by name because I love it so much. Me and my husband love to go to Sweet Peas which is a barbecue place in town. Excellent. But they have such a good deal on ribs on Thursdays.
Yes.
And so like knowing that in advance, and that's because that's how their purchasing works. Like we've sat and talked with their waiters and waitresses.
Yeah.
That's like kind of their meat rotation and their purchasing rotation and smoking rotation kind of aligns for them to set those deals throughout the week.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So we just stay aware of their like weekly specials and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like I said, a little bit more advanced planning, but you can kind of score some good deals when you think about it from that way.
I think this is one of the tips that we got most frequent. Like a lot of our staff was like, just plan. And we even mentioned it in the grocery episode, Feast for Less.
Yeah.
But it really does come down to that. I even asked my sister, I was like, what do you do to plan? Because they're always on the go with activities after school and things.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing that came out of her mouth. She was like, well, on Tuesdays at B-Dubs, you can get this.
Yes.
And on Wednesdays at Lakeside Tavern, you can get this for half price. Like she just like knew her places and the specials they were running each day of the week. And I was like, that's genius.
And I'm so glad you mentioned her because that also looking ahead, I feel like really helps when you're going out to eat with a family.
Yes.
That's when you can really get those good specials and good deals for sure when you're looking at the menu and planning in advance that.
And I know we're talking about it like from a local level, like being at home, but there are deals when you even travel for vacation too. So like my husband and I, we have family that lives in Vegas, and we went out to eat with them at this restaurant that everybody goes to where like the steaks were on there and everybody was ordering them. But if you said, hey, I want to get the local special, the number 7, you only know that if you're a local. Oh, that's
and you
so
got
cool.
a
sirloin, a side, and a house salad for $7.77. It's like this insider information.
Oh, that's so
there are
cool.
restaurants that do that too when you're traveling, especially to like popular places. Ask what the local specials are from locals and things like that to even help while you're traveling.
Oh, that's such a good tip. I didn't even think about traveling. I was like literally like, and what can we do here?
What can I eat for lunch every day?
Tip 3. Moving on to tip 3.
Okay.
Are you ready? Is splitting with a friend.
Split with a friend.
Splitting with a friend.
Oh, cutesy.
Split with a friend.
Cutesy.
So yeah, that's kind of like a couples/friend tip. And I wanted to read a statistic here is a lot of the times leftovers go to waste anyway.
Yes.
It's recorded. I've seen the statistic, but the only place I could pull this from was from kitchencabinetkings.com.
Yes, Kitchen Cabinet Kings.
Is that Americans waste about 240 pounds of food per person.
Yeah.
Which means 20% of the food that is on people's plate ends up getting thrown away.
Yeah.
So if you need some motivation to share when you go out to lunch, because I know that sometimes you're like, no, I want this and you want that, blah, blah, blah. Just remember, statistically, it's probably going to go to waste if you think you're going to have leftovers.
Yeah.
So maybe think about sharing.
Because
my husband's one of those people who's like, I don't want that. I want something else. And now I'm going to pull out this. I'm going to be like, well, 20% of the food goes to waste.
I think we even said earlier, we were talking to some of our coworkers and they were like, oh, if we can't eat, we can't have fun. And it's like, okay, let's figure out a way to balance both worlds so that you can still have fun and do the things you want to.
Yes.
But then ball on a budget if you have to as well.
Ball on a budget.
Ball
100%.
on a budget.
Yeah.
I like to say that I like to share with myself. I share for future Molly. So sometimes I'll get, like, for example, Blaze is a perfect place because you get this huge pizza.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not going to eat that whole pizza by myself in one sitting.
Yeah.
So you can either split it or you can split it and take it for lunch the next day, which is what I do.
Yeah, that's actually what I've started doing too, since I have hubs who won't share.
Yeah.
Very bad at sharing.
Stingy.
Stingy. No, but I think that's great. That was one of the ones I have to say that besides for this next tip, that was one of the ones that our staff said most frequently. It was like, well, just share. And I'm
Split.
like, wow, we've got such caring hearts here at the credit union.
And I mean, if you think about it, some of the places, especially for restaurant, maybe not so much for fast food, but when you think about some of the restaurants you go to, the portions are so big anyways.
They really are.
You could split this and be fine.
They really are. And honestly, if what my husband and I do when we do it is we'll get an appetizer and an entree. So then we get to try a little bit of dabble throughout the menu, because I think that's our problem too. It's like we love to try everything. We're like, well, that sounds good and that sounds good and that sounds good. Or we'll do 2 apps, 1 meal.
Yep.
Which is another way we do it. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Again, evaluating the menu and making
it all
a plan.
goes back. It all goes back to tip number 1, evaluate the menu.
Yes.
I love that our tips are all honestly just like plan a little bit.
Just plan. It's true though. Next.
Number 4. And this is the one that we got the most from our survey and also from Molly and I talking about it is use the apps of the places that you're going. And what do we mean by that?
Yeah.
Download that Taco Bell app.
Yes.
Download that Chick-fil-A app. Download that Salsaritas app. If you are going to somewhere extremely frequently, it will stack up for you to sign up for those rewards. So I wanted to mention some of the ones that were mentioned in our survey directly, which Taco Bell was said a ton.
Yes.
Salsaritas, Papa John's, McDonald's was also McDonald's and Taco Bell were probably the top 2 mentioned.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to toss out Chick-fil-A because I used it today. So
this episode is not sponsored by Chick-fil-A.
It's not sponsored by
though
anyone.
It may It's sponsored by us.
It's sponsored by
our
us.
taste buds.
So there's that.
So I have a funny story to share with you again about my sister. So if you're listening, sister, hello. I was like, hey, so like, tell me about some of the tips that you do. And she was cracking me up because she's been listening to us and listening to the things that credit union puts out. She was like, first of all, use the food app for the vendor that you're going to. Second of all, get your receipt and scan it into the Fetch app to get those rewards.
Yeah.
Third of all, use your TVA credit union card so you get your YouTube rewards points and you get those rewards. She was like, rewards on board, rewards.
Yeah. You got to do it.
You are smart, lady.
Yeah. That's hacking the system to your benefit, you know?
Here's how to hack the system.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask, do you have an app that you use and like most frequently?
Chick-fil-A is my go-to
Yeah.
one. We eat, again, that protein journey that we're on right now. We're in our protein era in my family. And Chick-fil-A is protein era. Chick-fil-A is pretty easy to get the protein in.
I'm like actually crying.
Yes.
About this protein era.
We've been hung up on, like, I should get stock in Chick-fil-A at this point as much. I feel like even our team here at the credit union eats Chick-fil-A a lot.
Yeah.
We're always on that Chick-fil-A grind. So, but I use the Chick-fil-A app a lot.
Yeah.
And really, like, I'm trying to think where else we eat out. Like, Salsaritas is another one that I'll use. Sometimes it's out of convenience, but if you get rewards, hey.
I was about to say, the one that I saw in the survey a lot, again, was Taco Bell and McDonald's.
Yeah.
And I have started using that Taco Bell app. I didn't use it before we started researching for this episode. The deals that you can get on those boxes are insane. You can get a crazy amount of food for $5.
Yeah.
And I don't really love a ton at Taco Bell. Like, I'm not a huge... I get the same thing every single time I go. I'm not adventurous, but let's say my husband wants 2 of this and then he can have the rest of my box. Yeah. I mean, it literally works so well and it is so much cheaper.
Yeah, if you order the box versus independently ordering those same items, there's a huge
insane difference. Like, insane.
Wild. Also, speaking of like the app deals, I don't know if you notice this, sometimes when you're ordering, sometimes they'll do only app or online exclusive coupons for like half price menu items.
Yes, McDonald's does that all the time.
So you could, if you're going to go there, you could just order it online and pick it up.
Exactly.
Pick it up.
Yeah. I also think something about ordering through the app as someone who is like, I'm extremely menu anxious. Like, I pull up to that drive-through and if I don't know, then I'm going to start panicking and I'm just going to get like whatever is my go-to. Whether it's like the most, I don't know, I just start to panic. I black out. I like pull around to the window. I'm like, how much am I paying for what?
I remember.
I didn't even drive here.
I remember, so I'm like you, I kind of get the same thing at Chick-fil-A. For years, I got the same thing. It was like, I want a number 1, give me a Coke Zero and some fries, whatever. Yeah. When they started like pulling their business out into the drive-thru away from the menu and like they came to your window and they're like, what do you want? I was like, I don't know, what do I get here? Like, I need to see the menu. I got the same thing every time. I've expanded my menu selection at Chick-fil-A now, but when that first changed, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just going to leave.
Actually, I'm just going to turn around. Just back me out, boss. That's so funny. So anyway, use the apps. That is tip number 4. So tip number 5. It's kind of similar, but
is it $5 foot long?
$5 foot long.
Yes.
Is couponing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of
this one's kind of kind of same, different. I feel like a lot of the apps now are like pushing you to coupon through the app. Yeah. But for example, like in Knox County, we have the Knox County School coupon book.
Yes.
So looking at that, seeing if there are any physical coupons. I know that newspapers give out coupons for restaurants and stuff all the time. So
I get coupons in the mail. Mm-hmm. And I don't know who be sending them to me.
Someone is.
But I get Subway, Wendy's, and Burger King coupon. It's like,
you gotta use them. You gotta use them on that Dave single.
It's like, who's sending these to me? And thank you.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, they're good coupons.
They are.
So just using them and planning to use them.
It all comes back to the plan.
It does. It really does. So that one's kind of a basic one, but it kind of ties into just those apps reminder. Too. Just a good reminder. Always there are coupons out there. Coupon. And you can find them if you're looking. You can even Google them online. If you just
Retail Me Not, I use them all the time.
Yeah, just look it up that way. Tip number 6. It's order water.
Order water.
I did the math on the markup for sodas, and it was something like double what they charge you at a restaurant versus what it is if you like get your own 2 liter. I did the math all based off of 2 liters, and it was literally like 1 cent to 2 cents, which is like, that is double. That is crazy amount of markup, which has motivated me to drink soda less. I'm not going to say not drink soda at restaurants,
we're still
but
drink it sometimes.
Less, for sure.
Yeah.
That profit margin is wild for soda.
It is. And water's good for you to drink every once in a while.
It is, I guess.
And especially if you're going home to eat, is instead of ordering the combo and getting the Coke and all the things, it's like, do you have drinks at home? Yeah, I probably have Coke at home.
Yeah.
Or whatever your preference is. So just order the burger and the fries separately and save those few bucks. Because sometimes the combo meal isn't that much cheaper than just ordering the items that you need and get what you already have at home.
Yeah. And like you said, water's good for you.
Water's good.
Water's good.
Water's good.
That should be the motivator right there. It's like, it's good for you. It's better for you. Don't let them make too much money off of you with soda.
Oh my gosh, not to like jump off topic.
Yeah.
But have you been on water TikTok?
All the time. I stay on water
all
TikTok.
The time. The magical like little potions they do with water these days is amazing.
It's funny that you mentioned that because in this here Stanley is not water, which I'm always like, I gotta go fill up my water. And someone in the office has clocked me recently as they're like, are you really drinking that much water? And I'm like, no, every time it's a powder packet. Every time it's a powder packet of tea or electrolytes. Like it is never straight up water.
Yeah.
I'm deep in the water talk game.
I believe that. I believe that. Go check it out if you haven't, guys.
Yeah, go. It's great, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, tip number 7, which is the final tip, which I'm going to toss over to you because I have never done this.
Okay.
Is the kids menu.
The kids menu. Again, Chick-fil-A has not sponsored this episode. However,
no, we can't keep bringing them up.
The kids meal at Chick-fil-A, don't sleep on that.
Don't sleep on it.
Because here's what you get. You can get a 5-piece nugget. Normally you get an 8 count. 5-piece nugget, a small fry, because we all probably could cut back on some carbs. Let's be honest.
Yeah, let's be real. We don't.
You can
need all those
get
fries.
your little Coke Zero still. And if you substitute the toy, you can get you an ice cream. So really, in the grand scheme of things, you're only short 3 nuggets. And Chick-fil-A, because they're so giving, sometimes you get 6 nuggets.
Ooh.
Or 7 nuggets, because they don't always count perfectly their little nugget quantity in the box. So sometimes you're almost getting the same amount, if not more food.
See, that specifically is such a good hack for the girlies who love the sweet treats.
Yes. See?
Like,
their ice cream is so good.
While I love a toy, I would love a bite of
you
ice
love
cream.
that Chick-fil-A book.
While I love the book,
Yes.
I would like ice cream more.
And if you're not a huge nugget person, another trick is you can order the 2 chicken strip kids meal. So it's 2 chicken strips.
Yeah.
Add a bun for 25 cents and a pickle, which I don't think they charge you for pickles. Locations may vary.
Don't quote us on that.
And you've got a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're like me, but I like the crunchies in the Chick-fil-A box. So you get like all side crunchies times 2 because you got chicken strips. I'm just saying it's a great way to save. So
Just
what's
saying,
the price difference? $5.85 for a Chick-fil-A kids meal. If I were to get an 8 count meal, $8.85.
Ooh.
And you get ice cream with a kids meal.
And you get ice cream, which is huge.
Yeah.
That's a win.
Yeah.
That's a win.
I've ordered off the kids menu even at restaurants.
Really?
Yes. There's an Italian restaurant named Gondoliers. If you've ever been, then you know. But it's like a big spaghetti. No kid can eat that much spaghetti. So I get the kids spaghetti and it's so much cheaper. Listen. Oh, we've lost her. No kid can eat that much spaghetti.
I'm gonna find a kid that can eat that much spaghetti. No kid can eat that much.
No kid. It's impossible. Mark my words.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, those are my tips.
We're not advising that you do that, but if you need to save a buck, order off the kids menu.
Yeah. It's a great tip.
Okay. Woo, that
man.
tossed me off track a little bit.
It's impossible.
But speaking of tossing,
Okay, toss it up, girl.
let's move
hear
into
it.
coin toss.
Okay.
Which, for those of you who are not familiar, coin toss is a segment where we toss this penny up in the air, call heads or tails, and the winner, I was like, one of us is a winner, one of us is a loser. The winner gets to pick what we are talking about. It could be a money myth busting session, a story time. So, 1, 2, 3, toss. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I think it's your turn to toss.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Slay.
Let's
I'm
do
coming
it.
off the side.
Heads, shoulders, knees, and toes.
It is heads.
Ooh, it is heads. It is heads.
Heads. Okay. What you got?
What do I have? Well, I kind of want to talk on the same topic that we've kind of been talking about. So this is kind of like story time, but you found a really interesting post from another credit union about eggs. And since everyone's talking about eggs these days and the price of eggs.
Stop talking about eggs.
Nobody, because I thought we could share a little bit about the history of the price of eggs.
Yeah.
From that post that you found.
Oh, yeah. Let me pull it up.
This has somehow turned into your coin toss.
This doesn't really feel like a coin toss for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's pull it up.
Pull it up.
We'll do a guessing game. Okay. So, Molly, how much do you think that eggs cost in 1950?
Okay. 50 cents. Oh, we don't have a buzzer.
I'll just be the buzzer. It is 60 cents.
Oh. I just went 50,
I wasn't going to give you any indicator that you were getting. This is now game time.
I was
it's
like 50 for 50.
Toss. Okay,
so
1980.
Okay, 1980. I'm going to say 1980, do some math. 75 cents.
84 cents.
Oh, man, they're just on the rise already.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, 2000. How much do you think eggs cost?
I'm going to say $1.50. Okay.
91 cents.
Ooh, man.
Yeah.
My inflation is coming too early in this game.
Yeah, you got to start ramping it up real hard towards the back end. Okay, 2010.
$1.50.
$1.66.
Dang it, I'm so close.
Okay, 2020.
Okay, 2020, I'm going to say $2.29 a carton.
$1.51.
I'm done.
Now... Now, guess how much eggs cost today. Okay. Which this is alleged. We've fact checked this.
I was gonna say I'm gonna go off what I recently paid, and I'm gonna say around $6.
According to this, quick one. It's $7.99.
Wow, people be paying $8 for eggs.
$8 for eggs.
Wild.
Yeah. So. That was a fun little game time.
I love that. So what can you do to save on eggs? Let's turn this into a saving moment. Caroline has commissioned a dear friend of ours.
Yeah, I was about to say, honestly, I feel like the solution is to check your local stores. There's a little country market that is across the street from Sweet Peas, the place we love to go, and their eggs are not that expensive.
Yes.
Also, I would say... go watch episode 3 of our podcast to see how to fully save on all of your grocery shopping. But I can't suggest Aldi enough. I know that they are not that expensive at Aldi for sure. I went yesterday.
Or find a friend who has chickens.
Yeah, that's the ultimate hack.
I mean, you really saved.
We're not telling you to get chickens, but
yes.
Yeah, I don't really know if I have any like tangible solutions for eggs besides for just like watch episode 3 and figure out how to do your grocery budget.
Evaluate the menu.
Do you really need eggs even?
Evaluate the menu. Make a plan.
Yeah,
that's your egg saving journey.
Yeah, that's the egg saving journey.
It is crazy though how much eggs have went up.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Eggflation.
And I'm all about it right now because we're on this protein journey.
That's tough.
And eggs are a great source of protein.
Yeah, you got it tough on every single area there.
This protein math is be killing me.
Well, I don't really know what type of coin toss that was, but it was a good one. I liked the egg game.
I liked the game.
Yeah.
I lost on all accounts.
Yeah, and also now you still have to do your weekly money win since
it's your weekly money win.
That felt like me doing a coin toss.
I have a weekly money win. Weekly money win.
Yeah, because I don't.
Okay.
Wait, yes I do.
All right, we'll both share.
1, 2, 3, go. Say it at the same exact time.
My weekly money win is my monthly money win also, is that I did not purchase the Halara leggings in the month of January. So
everyone clap for Molly.
I still get the text. I still haven't purchased them.
I'm so proud.
I know. I've done really well continuing.
We're like solidly into the next month now that you didn't do that. I'm really proud.
So I'm proud of my no spend January.
Yeah, I'm proud of your no spend January too.
I successfully accomplished it.
My weekly money win, which is truly just a win for today, is that while I was researching this episode, I was like, I should check all my little apps for points, and I got my lunch completely free today from Chick-fil-A.
Okay,
whole
Chick-fil-A.
entree. Yeah. We got to wrap it up because we're talking about Chick-fil-A too much.
Yeah, we're sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So as you head out today and go get some Chick-fil-A, we hope you enjoyed this episode and got a few tips to help you along the way with your food saving journey.
Yes, remember, always, planning is probably the answer when it comes to finding some savings. So guys, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to our channel and go check out our social media if you want some more content for us, which you can find at TVA Credit Union.
And if you want to send us some topics that you would like us to cover or tell us your best food saving hack, we would love to hear it. You can email us at podcast@tvacreditunion.com. And until next time, keep making those money moves.